have you ever felt like you're in over your head as a new manager, unsure if you even belong in a leadership role? When I started managing 13 years ago, I felt like a total imposter. My team ignored me, and every attempt to assert my authority failed. But everything changed when I developed a simple blueprint to build confidence as a new manager. It erased my self-doubt, got my team to listen, and they loved working for me. So in this video, I'll share my perfected blueprint that every new manager needs to know, and I'll show you how to quickly implement it so that you never feel like an imposter again. But first, what's the one critical mistake that new managers make that makes them feel like a big fat phony?
That's right. You're a big fat phony!
I see so many new managers make this mistake, and it's a massive reason why they don't shake that feeling of being an imposter. But it's such an easy thing to avoid, and it will save you months of pain. So what is this massive mistake? Well, I think the best way to explain this is by telling you a story where I almost saw someone freeze to death. Back at the end of 2023, I went cold weather camping in the desert with a good buddy of mine. Now, my friend Jesse is basically a Navy SEAL when it comes to camping. He has all the cool gadgets and heating tools that you could ever need to survive in the cold. He's kind of like Bear Grylls, but, you know, not a fraud. On our first day, when the sun was getting low in the sky, we saw a young couple start setting up camp right next to us. I knew things were not looking good for them when right off the bat, I saw them blowing up an air mattress. If you've ever slept on an air mattress in the cold, you know the air inside the mattress gets extremely cold, and you're basically sleeping on a popsicle. Not only that, but they were collecting twigs and sticks lying around the campsite just for their firewood. They were completely winging it on a night where it was going to be around 17 degrees Fahrenheit. Needless to say, they froze in their sleep and died a tragic death. Nah, I'm just kidding, but they did pack up in the middle of the night and leave because they couldn't handle it. Now, we can laugh at how unprepared they were, but here's the thing. New managers make the exact same mistake. Just like that couple underestimated the harshness of the desert, many new managers underestimate the challenges of leadership. They dive in without preparation, and when the pressure builds, they fold. So how do we avoid making the same mistake? Well, the answer is simple. You need a mentor. Just like I relied on my friend Jesse to guide me through the harsh conditions of the desert, a mentor is your survival guide in the world of management. A mentor does more than just show you the ropes. They equip you with tools you didn't even know you needed. Without a mentor, you're like that couple, freezing in the cold, hoping you'll figure it out, but ultimately leaving in the middle of the night because you're embarrassed. Now that you know how to avoid that massive pitfall, what is the crucial blueprint to shake imposter syndrome? Feeling like a phony can be like having a heavy weight on your shoulders, making you question if you even belong in a leadership role. But if you do what I'm about to show you, you'll instantly build confidence and earn the respect of your team. So how do we do that?
The best way to explain this is with a real example. Let me show you how Abby, a new manager I mentored, used this blueprint to overcome her imposter syndrome and was even offered a promotion because of it.
Absolutely overwhelmed, not prepared, drowning. Personally, didn't feel like I was ready yet. I feel like I got thrown into it with not a lot of guidance or coaching. This is crazy. And I didn't feel as crazy because I had somebody else that had gone through the same thing and they're further along in the situation, and it's still like a crappy situation to be in, but I wasn't alone in the situation. Yes, we were getting thrown curveballs, but you always assured me that it was all going to be all right. Obviously, I felt accomplished, and I felt like due to being thrown into a situation where I didn't feel a lot of support from my superiors, like it almost felt better because I kind of did it, me and you or whoever else was helping me, but it was kind of more so like I figured it out. Yeah, just way more confident in myself and in what I learned, and being able to manage and lead was a lot different than what I originally thought going into it.
And the secret to how we did it? Well, it all starts with a bag of Skittles. Imagine this cup as Abby's confidence, and each Skittle represents doing something good in your job where you feel highly capable in your role. This line here represents the amount of good things you need to do before you can shake that feeling of being an imposter and feel confident. See, before Abby was a manager, she was working a sales role, and she was really good at what she did. In fact, she was one of the best in the company. So as you can imagine, her confidence was sky high because of this. The problem was, after being promoted within her store, she realized that management is a different game than sales, and she just didn't have the experience or skills yet that were needed to feel good in her new role. To make things harder, she had to lead former coworkers she was close friends with while stepping in to replace a highly successful manager who had just been promoted due to setting record high profits at that store. So the stakes for her were massive, and her new job was on the line, and her confidence just wasn't there. The thing is, most new managers end up learning the hard way, constantly playing a game of adding a Skittle to their cup with a small win, but only to lose it again when they run into challenges. Every mistake feels like it empties their cup, leaving them frustrated and stuck. But Abby didn't have the time to learn the hard way. Every second counted. So what did we do differently? Well, I taught her how to put in 5 Skittles for every one taken out so that we were able to quickly get her feeling good about her new role. Because I had already faced and solved these challenges, she was able to skip the trial and error and take the shortcut to overcoming her imposter syndrome. By following this simple blueprint, not only did she go on to hit record numbers at her store, her boss was extremely proud of her, and she was even offered a promotion.
So, what were the specific steps that I taught her? Step number 1. Since Abby was promoted from within, she had people she was close with in her workplace. The problem is, when you're close with people as a manager, people expect you're going to look out for them because you're friends. This can make it extremely difficult to make hard decisions if those people are underperforming and hurting your team. So, despite her initial hesitation, I taught her to start putting some professional distance in between her and her team. Of course, you can still be friendly with employees, but being best buddies with them just isn't possible if you want to lead effectively. Step number 2. Abby was constantly overwhelmed with tasks, which made her feel burnt out by the end of her day because her to-do list never got any smaller, and this took away from her energy when she needed to do her most important tasks. So I taught her to make a list of everything that needed to be done, pick the things that are the most important to her store, and then delegate the things to other employees that were just burning her out. This allowed her to put more energy into her key result areas, which helped her boost her store's profits and her income. Step number 3. To be a great manager, you need to be constantly adding to your toolbox and learning to lead effectively. The problem was, on top of working a full-time job at 50 hours a week, Abby also had a daughter and an active social life, so spending months reading up on leadership material just wasn't an option for her. Well, it's a good thing Abby likes and follows this channel, just like the rest of you smart cookies. But seriously, leadership has been a lifelong passion for me, so I was able to simply just give her the shortcuts of management techniques, which helped her to become an expert at her craft.
Since she followed all of my steps, she was able to quickly learn how to be a great manager, shake that imposter syndrome, and for her, it felt like she was doing this.
So now that you know how to be a confident manager, will that help you get ahead of other managers and impress your boss like Abby did? Building confidence and shaking imposter syndrome are huge for standing out and being recognized in your company, which then will only make you feel more confident. But there's one critical piece I didn't teach Abby, something so new, no one else is doing it. It could 10x your chances of being recognized as one of the top managers in your company, no matter your experience. So go watch this video next where I show you how you can get ahead of 99% of other managers in your field using a secret weapon no one is using.